Today's news.
CBS News on the hour, presented by Indeed.com. I'm Christopher Cruz. Emergency workers are taking stock of the damage from a string of tornadoes that ripped through central Tennessee yesterday. 6 people are dead, dozens injured. Nashville Fire Chief William Swan.
It is critical that you exercise extreme caution when you navigate through affected areas and avoid entering any building or structures that appear to be damaged or unstable.
Israeli troops are attacking Hamas targets in southern Gaza now, in the process crippling relief efforts. Reporter Imogen Folks says UN health officials in Geneva are now demanding that civilians be protected.
The resolution calls for immediate unimpeded access for aid and for those fighting to abide by international law. That means no attacks on hospitals or health workers. It also demands that all those detained, hostages and Palestinians should have access to medical care.
Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders tells CBS's Face the Nation today he believes the U.S. should start placing conditions on aid it sends to Israel.
Israel is losing the war in terms of how the world is looking at this situation. And I think that it would be irresponsible for the United States to give Netanyahu another $10 billion to continue to wage this awful war.
We've learned that President Biden will meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House on Tuesday. The meeting, part of Mr. Biden's pressure campaign on Congress to approve billions more in aid to Ukraine as it defends against the invading Russians. White House Budget Director Shalonda Young on CBS's Face the Nation says Russia will be emboldened if the U.S. doesn't send more aid.
Americans want their national security taken care of. We agree with that. What happens if Putin marches through Ukraine? What's next? NATO countries. Our sons and daughters are at risk of being a part of a larger conflict.
There are growing concerns about the authoritarian rhetoric being used by former President Trump. But Ohio Republican Senator J.D. Vance tells CNN he's not worried about a second Trump term.
The idea that Trump is going to be radically different than what he was 4 years ago is just preposterous. He was an effective, successful president. I think he will be an effective, successful president again. That's why I've endorsed him.
Donald Trump was expected to testify in his civil fraud trial in Manhattan tomorrow, but he said today he's decided against it. He was to have been the last defense witness in that trial. A fire at a hospital in Tivoli on the outskirts of Rome has killed at least 3 people and forced the overnight evacuation of the smoke-filled facility and its nearly 200 patients. Patients in intensive care had to be brought to other hospitals in ambulances. This is CBS News.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these dash cam news adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 60 degrees in Alameda, California.